foremost, I always say I am love. It's the most important. Without identity, without label, a minute to 5 minutes, you're connecting yourself to your intuition and to the divine.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to my channel, Yoga with Preeti and Beyond. Today I have a very special guest, Sophia.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be here sitting with you. My name is Sophia. I am the founder of the company The Wisdom Path. It's a community and meditation business here in Irvine, where we live. First and foremost, I always say I am love. It's the most important. Without identity, without label, I am enough, you are enough. And I am a certified sound meditation practitioner, a certified yoga instructor, as Preeti mentioned, and a forever student of life. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology from UCI, so that's what brought me to this beautiful city. I've been in OC for 4 years, and I live here with my husband and my husky dog, Kona. So, yeah.
Welcome. And I think it's really great. Somehow like you feel connection with some place and you kind of just wanted to be here, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I got intrigued about this sound healing recently, and you've been, you and I connected. Hey, I just started my yoga channel. Would you like to come in? And when I saw your Instagram, The Wisdom Path, she's like talking about the sound healing. She's sending pictures. I'm like, my viewers wants to know about it. Like, what is sound healing? Why it is important?
Yeah, so a very basic description for me is sound meditation is meditation. So visualization, breath work, body scan, mindfulness meditation compared with a set of sounds either derived from a singing bowl, gong, chimes, and to evoke a mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual experience. It's a very basic definition.
Okay. Like in our temple in Hindus, right? Like we have those, the bell. We have to always do it before we go worship the God.
I love that.
And when I see these sound healing, and I feel like that there is definitely a connection why our ancestor put that as part of the worship regime.
Yeah.
So I think, but I also wanted to know, one of my actually colleague at work, she was like, oh, I do a lot of chakra healing. I'm like, okay, what is that? I was like, I have no idea what is that. So like, she was talking about certain frequencies, right? Like she was like, on the base chakra, there is a different frequency. So how that overall affects a human body? Like, what's that mean? Like,
so I can talk about the chakras, or I can start with like physical energetic level.
Whichever is,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll start with chakras because I am also a huge fan of this, understanding where it is coming from. So this affects the chakras. There's more than 7. Most people assume that there are just 7. I'm sure there's thousands, but we talk about the 7 that are in the body. How sound meditation is used with those is the fact that in Vedic medicine there are 5 sheaths. As an example, the first sheath is the physical body, so the Annamaya kosha. Paired with the root chakra. So if I have a bowl and it's the C note, that's the first chakra, it will evoke a sense of grounded and secureness. So if someone like my husband, who I love so much, he's logical, he's intelligent, he gets things done. Anyone who knows like their life is filled with a lot of to-do lists, the first chakra, the C note singing bowl, might be something that you're drawn to because you are looking for something to pull you down. The rest of the chakras can't not necessarily be balanced without this sense of security in the earth, in your own physical body. That's like one example.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing. So meaning like first as a human we should work on our base chakra, right? Like that's
Yes.
your root,
Absolutely.
right?
Like all of these other ones above it are also working, but someone who is like really into the chakras, if they're
I
always
see.
spiritual and they're always talking about this, but never fully rooted in like their physical life, and they're always like thinking about physical and spiritual things, they will never truly like get the whole idea of like mixing the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, with the root
Wow.
one. So
Okay.
there's so much.
Yeah, well, I know you just touched the surface. I would
Yes,
say that, right? Like,
absolutely.
yeah, this is amazing. But I think that was a good you said, right? Like, so with a C note
Yeah.
is your root chakra note, right? Like, basically, if I'm just banging on the C on my piano,
Yeah.
basically, it's kind of working on my root chakra.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting, guys. Listen, like, if you are into music, you are in a way awakening your chakras.
Definitely always in tune. Yes.
That's really great. And you also touched upon the physical and energetic body with that. You wanted to say
I
more
can speak
about
on that
that?
one. So
Yeah.
people are probably excited. This is sound meditation has now been brought here to the Western world for the last 40 plus years. So people are probably excited about the physical benefits, improve sleep, reduce stress. Those are probably like the buzzwords that are really exciting people. That's great. People love less stress. What I love is the energetic level that you get from being exposed to certain sounds, which is when I have become deeper in my meditation because of this. I feel like a little bit closer to the universe, whatever you want to fill in for that part. I feel deeply connected to a spiritual side, the universal energy, by
Interesting.
being exposed to the sound of the gong, the sound of certain singing bowls.
Yeah, and I think it kind of also when there's a sound of gong, it kind of like also does something on your crown chakra. Try to kind of connect to your higher
I
source.
love this so much. Yes. So I can't speak for every single gong that is produced, but the one that I have, I double checked. It is the low note B. B is associated with the seventh crown chakra. So absolutely, like you're absolutely correct.
Oh my gosh, I was just kind of like,
No,
that's from my own experience.
that's
Like, okay,
your
what's
intuition
happening?
telling, like, yes, absolutely. And also, it's very grounding, the sound of it. So it's kind of twofold, root chakra, grounded, and also spiritual divine knowledge.
Oh wow, wow. But this is amazing, right? Because like when we talk about the holistic well-being, we also have to you know, incorporate the sound healing as part of it, right? And one of the thing too, like I do my yoga, but it's recently, as I said, I started learning more about the sound healing. So how you advise how the when we do yoga and all, how do we kind of add these practices in our daily kind of routine, you know?
Absolutely. So I'd say my favorite thing for someone at home, super simple, super free. We're outside today. Bird song is a natural way to connect to something that is actually known to be very healing. There's research done that listening to the sound of birds is also very relaxing, very calming. So I'm not assuming everyone is going to go out and buy instruments. That's not what I'm saying. Like, go outside if you have something like birds and trees outside. Like, those natural sounds are the beginning. Like, it's
like
where
connect
it starts.
to the nature, right? And
Absolutely.
listen to the sounds
Yes.
around and bird sounds. Okay.
That and chanting Om. That is something that you can give to yourself. Not OM, but more like AUM, if I could demonstrate.
Yeah. Amazing.
So the silence at the end, you could do this for a minute, for 5 minutes, silently in your head, or you can say it out loud. The silence at the end is very important. Yeah.
So why like Om? I mean, I know in Hindus we are always like my all worship starts with Om.
Yeah.
But I think I never understood, right? Like why Om? Is that like because of the universe hymning or?
So back to if I'll pull from the chakra standpoint, since we started with that, it's the last two sounds. So I won't go deeply into mantras that I'm always learning. That's something I'm still learning about. But the last two, the sixth chakra and the seventh chakra, the seed sound is Om.
Okay.
So by doing Om a minute to 5 minutes, you're connecting yourself to your intuition and to the divine, to your knowledge. So that is something that you can give yourself, or go outside.
So that's really great too,
Yeah.
right? Because like in our busy life, right, we have kids, we have family. I think just like, okay, go out, listen to the bird sounds,
Yeah.
and doing Om.
In your
With
car,
this,
maybe
like,
you don't want to
oh
go
my God, that's
home
a
yet. Like
perfect-
take
yeah.
a minute or 5 minutes, like for yourself.
That's
Yeah.
amazing way to actually get started, right? You was like, okay, I'll just stay for some time in my car and just do it, right?
The assumption is like, oh no, like I need money, or like I need this to be able to experience sound meditation. First of all, that's like a boundary that you're putting for yourself. Like
Right,
it's everywhere.
right. It's
Sound is everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah,
Vibration.
yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's like so easy, and you said it rightly that this is how you kind of connect with your true self, your seventh and sixth chakra, right? So this is amazing, and I think that our in the Hindu tradition, it's like Om is kind of given, but I know for the fact myself, I don't practice because until unless I really think that, oh, I really have to do it,
Right.
so
Right.
so that's a great way to kind of get started in the sound healing, I guess, right? So, yeah, I have. If I see you have brought some stuff too. Do you want to do some short demo for my viewers here? They will be really happy to see that.
So
And she does her private retreats as well, guys. And you know that, like, I highly recommend her retreats and her sound healing sessions. You know,
thank you.
you know, it is amazing to have our community, trying to help other folks. I mean, this is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. Okay, so I brought my chimes. My chimes are tuned to C 256 hertz. Typically, middle C is 262. Scientifically, if you want to look it up, 256 hertz is the safer vibration.
Okay.
So this is tuned to that, and the element that it said was earth. So this can sound like joy. It can also be grounding if you get that from it. So let me set it up. Now, I wouldn't necessarily have an entire sound meditation with just chimes. This is, I'd say, a supplemental instrument where I would accompany the gong or some singing bowls with it. But this is something that I can bring with me, like for today.
Right, yeah.
Just offer. So I'll offer some, and then I'll explain a little bit.
It is doing something into my brain, to be honest. And it has something in it. See, that's Sophia's magic, guys.
You're so kind, Preeti. So this is, again, I said earth element. So we have C, D, E, G, A as the center. So A tuned to 432 hertz, another safe vibration. Again, there are others that are more common, but this is one of the more safer ones scientifically. And then it just repeats C, D, E, and G for the rest. This is one of my favorites. It sounds super happy as well.
250 for C, right? You said
256.
256.
Yes.
Okay. And 432 for the
for A is the center.
The center. Yeah, it did actually. I felt that when you were actually moving, it was like I felt that my brain. I felt like some circling is happening.
I love that, and it's a great pairing again to the outdoors, which is
wow.
so beautiful out here.
I definitely have to come to your sound one now. Because like sometimes you don't know, right, like what kind of Because sometimes we say, oh, the sound healing means gongs and stuff, but we really have to understand what
I
it
have
brings.
yes, exactly. I have
Right?
so many thoughts on that. But this is why we're here and we're sharing the
Sharing,
knowledge that needs
exactly.
to
Yeah.
be
I'm
shared.
learning too because, like, as I said, right, I was like, oh, this is new. And I feel when I ventured into this spiritualism like few years ago, and I felt like, what the heck I was doing all of my 40 years of my life, you know? Like, it felt like kind of like this is what I was looking
Yeah.
for, you know? And I'm just like connecting to people like, you. I mean, I feel like God is just helping,
Absolutely.
you know? They're just helping. So, like, as you already explained, like the sound healing connect to the chakras and the subtle energy body. But like how, because of the vibration, like it kind of brings into your body,
I
is
would
that the
love
way?
I would love to talk about sound and why different frequencies affect our body. I would love to dive in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, one of my favorite books, if you have not already read the book, is Sound Medicine by Dr. Kulreet Chaudhary. When I was training under Cami, my mentor, this book was offered to us. All of us read this book, and I still continue to reference it.
Really?
My favorite quote that I try to get down if I'm in conversation and I can share it with someone randomly on the street, I say exactly as she says it. When we are ill, our natural order of frequencies in our body is altered. But when we are exposed to external vibrations
Mm-hmm.
in sound, our internal rhythm can be restored. That is the very basis of like her entire book. She goes into it and why we all as practitioners believe and know that sound is vibration. It's not just something that we hear in our ears.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes beyond our skin, beyond our bones, and into our cells. So my favorite example of this is when I'm sick. If I feel fatigued, if I feel like not myself, I
Yeah.
play my gong. Why? The next day I start to feel better. I've done this twice now where if
Wow.
for 2 days, 3 days, I'm down with a common cold, let's say,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I sit down for 5 minutes and I play my gong, I feel better the next day. I can't explain, like I'm sure other things that I am doing,
Right,
but
right.
I
Yeah.
know that helps explain, okay, my body is out of rhythm. I'm sick. And so how do I do that? I bring myself back in tune. And everybody's like attunement is different, but we have these instruments that like can help us whatever we're more pulled to. I bought my certain gong because like I felt connected to
I
it.
see. I see.
So everyone is different, but that is my favorite example.
But I think one of the thing in continuation to what we just discussed,
Yeah.
because like I am in my 40s going through perimenopause, and a lot
Yeah.
of my like neighbor, I mean my colleagues, my friends, they all are going through some sort of hormonal changes in their body. They
Yeah.
are feeling
Yeah.
fatigued. Lack of sleep is the biggest problem and
Okay.
stuff. And I feel, do you think that that can help? The sound healing can help with some of the symptoms?
Absolutely. Again, I'd probably say become really close to someone you trust, like get a mentor, take classes that with someone that you know that you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I will always say like not all sound is helpful, some is harmful. So knowing that I am a certified practitioner, there's some people out there like playing these instruments, sharing it, profiting off of it, and they're not certified. Like there are certain frequencies that we should be less
I
exposed
see.
to.
I see.
So I would definitely say that again, I said improved sleep would definitely help
Okay.
if they took
Okay.
classes, or even if they wanted to buy instruments for themselves for the sake of like personal practice. That also is something that they could do too.
Yeah, I mean, one interesting thing you just said that the certain sound can actually harm your rhythm of your body too, right? Very interesting because I remember I went to a concert, I think 3 weeks ago, and I
Yeah.
felt terribly sick after that. I mean, I
Oh,
enjoyed a lot, but
yeah.
I don't think that it's I don't know actually
Yeah.
that it was related or stuff, but I just maybe it was just shaking my internal structure. I have no idea.
I know this from just like other people's experience of sharing, oh, I went to this person's sound meditation and I had this very shaky experience. Now, like everyone's experience isn't going to be the same, but it shouldn't
Interesting.
necessarily be something that makes you feel very, very uncomfortable. Everyone's experience is going to be different, but if it is doing that extreme side, it might have been that the person wasn't aware that they're playing very high frequency for someone that maybe needs a more grounding tone. Like I said, like my husband loves the first chakra bowl. Like it's very grounding for someone who their mind is like always running, always pacing.
You know, that's a very important thing to know, because like even in a household, like let's say I love the music which is high paced, but it may not be well suited for my other family members, right? Stuff like that, for example. And like when you are young, it's not really you can feel those things. You will feel uneasy and you will kind of get over with it.
Yeah.
But as I mean, I'm over 40, I am feeling more. So I feel okay, this is actually very intriguing to me right now. I need to explore this more.
We love music. Music is a part of this too. Yeah, definitely in the book it mentions that the music that we listen to is a part of it. Like there are reasons why like certain playlists are things that we are drawn to more than other
ones.
pieces
Yeah,
of
interesting.
music. Yeah.
Wow. So you already have touched upon it, but like, have you personally experienced any powerful transformations through the sound healing?
One of my favorite ones, knowing why I needed to own a gong for myself, is when I took my mentor's class. It had some gong in it. I think I deeply meditated so much that I went to deep sleep, and the minute that she said like begin to open your eyes, I was like, wait, it's been 40 minutes already.
Wow.
So for me,
Yeah.
for the rest of my day, I continued to hear the gong. I was driving in my car, I'd hear the gong. Like it stayed with me, and I was also so calm for the rest of the day. So
it really resonated with your
truly, I was like, can I be like this for the rest of the week? Like it was the rest of the day, but
it's
I was
bliss.
like, can we feel like this calm? Yeah. No, I love sound meditation classes. It's something that practitioners also need for themselves too. So I love them.
Right. We always say, right, like first we kind of experiment on ourselves and then we want to teach others.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So so I mean, you touched a little bit upon it. Like I'm curious about your daily wellness routine, or like what you talked about your gong and all that, right? So what keeps you grounded?
So I'd say I'm someone who is very flexible. So I actually don't like a routine, but if I have something that I like to lean on, I have a few things. One of the first ones is having to take care of my dog. I have to go outside and walk her. I get the bird song. So I have a new appreciation for that. The second thing is offering myself sound. So because I have all of my instruments, I do offer them to myself. That's one of my favorite ways. I will literally grab one of my sticks and start to play a certain note. My favorite is D, that is our sacral chakra. There's never enough of us like feeling in tune with our passion, with like who we are. That's one of my favorite ones. Or I also love aromatherapy. So I love essential oils. I love lotions that use essential oils. I'm super into that as well.
That's great. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love incense too. I mean, like all those Hindu, they have different type of incense. So I'm like, it feels like somehow with that, it feels like the energy is moving. I don't know why, but it just feels like that.
Our senses are everything. I'm huge with scents. So whatever it is doing, I usually pair it with anything that I'm doing.
That's great.
Different things for things.
So what would you wanted to give advice to my viewers who wants to, do a deepening on the spiritual path? I mean, I think that every area is so deep in, right? So, what's your advice to my viewers? What for taking their spiritual journey to next level?
I love this question because I don't think we talk about spirituality like with our friends, with our family enough. My advice would be start small with meditation. When I say meditation, I mean either this is like silent meditation, maybe you're going on a quote walking meditation, you like to walk. Um, Also, take classes. And when you share your energy with other people, be very mindful of like who you let in, the mentors, the leaders that you let into your life. They can also like be someone that walks this path with you. Nothing that I do is without like the help of my community. So I know that for sure. Like lean on someone who also maybe is looking for deepening their spirituality, because we can think like, oh, I have to do everything by myself, especially when it comes to spirituality. But it's also so beautiful when we feel comfortable to share
Yeah,
that with
yeah.
someone else. I wouldn't be here like
Right,
without the
right.
connection that we
Yeah.
got from like the 2 years that I taught yoga.
Exactly,
Like I'm
yeah.
here because of that, because of connection, like beyond anything. Yeah.
And I think that's everything, in my opinion, too. And somehow the God also kind of tries to help you with all of those. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, I'm so grateful that you are here sharing your, such a deep knowledge on it, because, like, sound healing definitely has not been out there yet, but I feel like it's coming out even further more with Instagram and, like,
I'd love
doing.
to share on that
Yeah,
because I feel like
definitely.
we didn't actually say this, and I do want to say this. Like, sound medicine is here, but it's always been here, right? This isn't something that we in Western world like came up with. This is going from Tibetan monks, ancient Egyptians, Vedic masters, all the way to today. So it's something that we are borrowing, that I am honored to share, but is why it's like we're now pulling on this. For the last 40 plus years, crystal bowls have kind of brought their way here,
Yeah.
but there's sound, again, comes from nature, comes from these ancient practices. You mentioned at the very beginning bells and all of that. Like, so it's always been here, but we are now more like excited about it, I'd
Yeah, and
say.
I would say that even though it comes from like the India
Yeah.
origin, Himalayas, and like Egyptian
Yeah.
cultures, old cultures, but I think that the way it has been there, but the knowledge has not been spread out in a way which I would have expected.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm getting these opportunities now to learn in a different way. My things which I knew it, but now I'm kind of learning from a scientific
Which
way.
I love.
Which I love it too, because I was like, yeah, now it makes more sense which frequency I have to really tune into. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, yeah, this is so good. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel.
Thank you,
It is so
Preeti.
good, and I think that my viewers will be so grateful to see this from you. And I think I will actually share your website information as well, so that
Thank
if
you.
anyone wants to explore that, please go ahead and explore the wisdom path. So thank you so much for your nice
Thank you.
thoughts on sound healing.